I just drove this thing so it's hot. Hopefully I don't burn myself. Ooh, ow, frick, hot. Hey guys, it's been a good minute since I did any car content. So today I'm gonna finally troubleshoot what's wrong with my alternator on my IS300. I haven't driven that thing in like 3 months because the alternator went out and I hadn't had time to mess with it. So today I'm gonna go ahead and mess with it and see what's going on with it. So I was actually prepared to replace the alternator with a Sequoia 150 amp alternator. That is a common retrofit for this car and the 2JZ motor. It's almost bolt-on, except you gotta do some modifications to the wire harness and then you gotta trim one of the ears to make it fit. And while I was looking at the part to try to figure out what I needed, I discovered something interesting that I'm gonna be troubleshooting today. So initially I was looking at the plug on here to see what I needed to do that retrofit to the Sequoia or the Tundra alternator. And I started looking at the harness and then I noticed that the main lug had a cap that was melted right here. I took the cap off to see what was going on and it was melted. And I noticed that the main lug is loose as far as the wire goes onto the crimp. Today I'm gonna be troubleshooting that to see if that's the issue with why my alternator is not feeding my battery. It did feel a little bit loose when I touched it earlier, but I'm gonna go ahead and charge this thing so I could start it up and pull it into the garage so we could troubleshoot inside the garage. So we'll go ahead and connect this baby up right now and let it charge for a couple hours so I can actually start this baby up and run it inside the house. Go ahead and tuck this right here. 12 volts, 6 amps. Don't close it because it's blocked right now, so we'll just latch it once and let it charge. So while we're waiting for the car to charge outside, and you guys have watched this far into the video, I've got these 2 Volk Racing license plate frames I got from volkframes.com. I haven't done a car video in so long. I decided to do a giveaway for all you guys that have been following me since day one. Leave a comment on this video and tell me what your favorite Volk wheel is, and I'll choose in a couple weeks 2 winners to get these. And I want to thank you guys for continuing to watch my videos and being patient with me for the last couple months on getting car content out. So I've let the car charge for about 6 hours or so now. Hopefully that's enough to start this baby up. Let's see. Nope. This thing is not starting. So I decided, since I'm already out here and it's not that hot, I'm gonna go ahead and just try to wrench out here in the driveway, see if I can at least unbolt that thing, check what's going on with that wire, and then see if I can fix it, at least get it to try to charge and jump started while I'm out here to see if there's actually something wrong with the alternator or it's just a loose connection. But you can kind of see right there that the joint right there where the crimp is kind of broke and it's just been arcing. That's probably what caused that cover to melt. Bolt looks pretty corroded too, so that's not helping either. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get my tools and try to wrench right now. So since we'll be messing with this power, first thing I wanna do is disconnect the positive on here, because the positive is connected to the alternator through the fuse box here. So we wanna make sure we isolate this so we don't arc anything. Go ahead and disconnect the negative side too, just for 12 millimeter down here. And if I unloosen this bolt on the stud, kind of tight. Move some of these connectors out of the way. I was really set on doing that Tundra and that Sequoia alternator swap. That alternator is $240, brand new, Denso, remanufactured. Then you just got to buy like a $10 harness and repin the plug. They do make an adapter plug, but it's like $60 shipped, and I wasn't gonna spend that much. But if this ends up being bad, we'll go ahead and do that swap later. So I just took apart the wire harnesses and the stuff around here just to kind of clear some way. Earlier when I did take apart this connector, the clip right here is brittle, so it kind of broke on me, so it's loose now, but not a big problem. It shouldn't vibrate loose. So now I got a little bit more room. So you can see right now there's much more room to work with down here. I might spray that with some WD-40 just to get it kind of lubricated before I put a wrench on it so I don't break anything. You can see all that turning and we're still down there with that nut stuck in there. There is a little lock area behind here, so we'll see if we get a wrench or something to hold it while we turn it. Obviously the head is not coming out of the stud. So what I just tried was tightening it back down, kind of break it loose from the rusted threads and see if I could turn it the other way now. Hopefully we can get it out. So that trick worked. I got it loosened. Now we're almost off. So we'll go ahead and take it off and take that eyelet out and try to fix it. And that comes off right there. The washer's out. And the eyelet right here with the bad crimp. I'm about to pull this wire up. The wire's down there with a bunch of clips, so we'll have to kind of undo that and pull it up here so we can work on it. We undid everything and we got the wire loose, and you can see this thing's freaking corroded as hell. As far as the copper goes, it looks like some of this braiding came loose, and it is still intact, but it just looks brittle as hell. Even on here, what had happened was that it just sheared off right there where the little crimp is, and the only thing that holding it on was this back crimp inside there. So what I'm going to do now, I'm actually going to try to clean this up. It's best to probably just replace this whole cable all the way back to the fuse box back here. So that's not really that much of a wire to replace, and if you do replace it, you might just want to go shortest length possible without going through this whole harness. We'll go ahead and do a temporary fix right now and try to straighten this thing out and crimp it again and just see if it works. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to hammer this out with a flathead to see if I can get that crimp out and then try to reuse it. Obviously it'd be best to replace this, but it's the middle of the night and I can't get to the hardware store to buy one of these. That was pretty easy. Hammered it through, broke off all the little bits of copper that was in there, so opened it up a little bit, so now we can crimp it back and hopefully it'll be a temporary fix until I get a better wire. So we'll go ahead and try to get this back on. What I'm going to do is cut or get this piece right here that's kind of corroded into that spot and then crimp it with some pliers. We get it in pretty good. Just in case, I'll put a new piece of heat shrink in here also, just so we can heat shrink this area so it doesn't expose any of this copper. All right, so I heat shrink that thing back on so it's nice and tight now. We'll go ahead and reconnect this and then jump the car. Hopefully it starts. Ended up getting a new washer and nut just so I don't have to put that rusted one back up and have it seized again. Nice and tight now. I did break that cap that melted earlier, so I ordered a new one. It was like $6 at the dealer here. I'm gonna pick up that tomorrow and cover that up. So that way nothing metal falls on there and shorts out on that if the car is on. It's a little safety thing. We'll go ahead and jump the car now with my other IS and see if this baby starts up. All right, go ahead and connect this baby up, see if it starts. First time in 2 months or so. All right, moment of truth, let's see. Good sign is I don't see an alternator light on the dash anywhere, and I'm getting 13.4, but that might be coming off the other car. I'm gonna go unplug the jumper cables and see if anything changes. All right, it's been running for a couple minutes, still no alternator light, and I'm getting 13.7 volts according to this meter, so I am perfectly in normal operating conditions for this car. That alternator has always been around 13.5 to 14. It's never been more than 14 from this gauge, so I should be good with this. I'm glad I have this back on the road and I didn't have to spend $250 on a new alternator. Good thing I checked all this before I ordered the parts. Hey guys, thanks for joining me all the way to the end of this video on trying to troubleshoot that alternator on my IS300 and actually fixing it without really buying any new parts or anything. It's a temporary fix. When I get around to actually working on the motor and getting into that area again, I'll redo that wire so it's more robust. Right now, I think I have a pretty good crimp on there, and I put the new bolt on, so it should be fine, and I'm gonna get that new cap tomorrow once I go to the Toyota dealer to pick it up. Don't forget, earlier I mentioned about the Volt Racing tag. Just leave a comment down below. In a couple weeks, I'll choose a winner of these 2 tags. So remember guys, with fixing your car and doing things on your car, if I can do it, you can do it too. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel to stay on top of all my different car projects and my house project and any other projects I'm working on in the garage. Anyways, thanks for tuning all the way to the end, and I'll talk to you guys next time. So I had to special order this cap from Toyota. It was actually the cheaper version, not the one for the Supra or 2JZ. Happens to be gray versus black, but it's actually $4 cheaper than the one for the Supra, which I assume is black. It is the exact same cap. We'll go ahead and put it in the car. Online, this thing is only like $3. When you walk into a dealer, they charge you $6 for it, but I think list price is like $5 and some change. We got the old part melted and all that, and the new part, which is gray like I said. We'll go ahead and put it in the car now. Damn it, I just drove this thing so it's hot. Hopefully I don't burn myself. Ooh, oh, frick, hot. All right, I'll do this later.